Yeah, Kai, I'm here with Grandmaster Emil Sutovsky, and I will introduce him as that first because he was a very successful player in his career and now FIDE CEO. Emil, it's been a very strange day as a spectator and a person who has to provide information to the audience. It was kind of 3 peaceful rounds, and then I started hearing rumblings that something is wrong with Magnus's dress code. But he sat over here, like on an iPad, for an hour, and nothing was happening. And then he sat for an interview. I got the news, and he left. So, what happened?
Well, you described the story how it was, and we always wanted to have some sort of peaceful resolution to that. And unfortunately, like Magnus actually admitted himself, for him it became a matter of principle from some moment. It's not like he was not given enough time. It's not like he was told to change immediately. He did have a lot of time to go and to do so, and unfortunately, he just decided that he wouldn't do so. Yeah, it's a pity, but at the same time, I think the decision of chief arbiter was fully correct, and I also think that regulations are there. It's not just we are sticking to regulations. I hate this as sticking to regulations for the sake of regulations, but there is a reason why regulations are there. B, they have been developed actually by Athletes Commission, which consists of players who were working on that, and I think there is a fair balance between, let's say, players who want to wear something, but also not very sportive, not very casual. And we are playing. You saw the premises we are playing at, and I think it also deserves to keep proper attire. And what's more, several players were already fined and weren't, and they did change, and it would be simply wrong to have even Magnus, even with all huge respect, to play under different set of rules. And we were very flexible, but when the chief arbiter warned Magnus, he just didn't care. And then Vichy later spoke to Magnus and Hendrik, and Lukas Turley spoke to them. And we really hope to the last moment that he will change, because the hotel is just, is 3 minutes walk for the player's convenience. It's easy to get there. The player can go, or anybody from his team, but it didn't happen. And actually, I think for Magnus, maybe it was out of combination of frustration of how he played in this tournament, and also his general attitude towards any cooperation with FIDE.
I see. Yeah, there was a lot there. I suppose I'll ask first about the commission because we had Giri and Jan here just before you sat down, and Jan also spoke. He had some sweater. He had to go speak. It was kind of unclear. I thought there was first a player who complained, but it's not a player. It's somebody on a commission. Oddly, I guess he's responsible for sort of the judgment call ultimately. Are these players, like Giri, Nepo, current active top 10, top 20, whatever players, are they involved in conversations with the Players Commission on what they can and can't wear in the tournament?
We sent the list of proposals, the draft of dress code to all the players, and they could feedback, but no feedback was coming. Also, for this dress code, more or less, I mean, it has been adjusted, actually softened but initially it was introduced in 2018, so it's 6 years, and it was just softened compared to that. So it's not something new. Also, it has to be said that for some reason, I mean, I don't know why, but there are several players who always find a way to stress that they just don't care and they would wear whatever it is. And for a number of years, they just there were no action taken on anything. So, but this year we also softened it again, but urged that, look, we're playing at such a venue, it will be strictly followed, and basically that's what happened. And it's pity that some players prefer just to not care. As if you see, out of 180 players, maybe a handful didn't care. All the rest are fine with that, and we didn't hear complaints about that. And
I will just say, I mean, yeah, Jan and Anish were sort of laughing about the fact that this policy will really only be enforced for top 10 and 20 players. Like if you're off on board 40 and you're in jeans and sneakers, FIDE won't chase you down.
That's not true. That's not true. We have been chasing players down as well, but obviously the top players who are under cameras, they're simply under radar of arbiters and those who see it. And I think the higher your position is, the higher your responsibility. But in general, I think we keep talking about chess being professional and so on. In tennis, I mean, it would be very strange to imagine that players would not fulfill not only dress code but also press conference and all the stuff which is required from professional tennis player to be a player. Now, the only argument which I hear to that, yes, but you don't pay as much as in tennis, and that's why. But actually, for top players, I think they could understand that respecting all that, not only about the dress code, about once again appearing in the press conference or doing some extra activity, playing some simul or doing some social activity. Unfortunately, every time we have like to convince players to do so, and we rarely have a cooperation on that, and that's a pity. Again, today's we are not happy about. I'm very unhappy about the fact that the tournament would continue without Magnus. Shall he prefer not to play in round 10? I have to say that he was not disqualified from the tournament. I think you tweeted something that he was disqualified from the tournament. He was not.
So he had the chance to come back.
Yes, he was banned from the round because that's a actually sort of punishment which is prescribed.
Okay.
So technically he was not banned to play in round 10.
Yes, but I would argue that's more symbolic than anything else. I mean,
okay, it depends where it happens and depends how many points you have. When you have 5 out of 9, maybe it becomes symbolic.
Sure, yeah.
If you have 7 out of 9, I can recall how Fischer continued in Sus in a zonal tournament, interzonal, when he got actually punished, but then he decided to withdraw nevertheless. Again, there's never an intention to harm players because we actually as FIDE put a lot of effort to have also this event or have many other events. And as probably your guests in the studio, if you interview them, they would surely confirm the prize money which we're putting get higher and higher in every event. So it's not true to say that we just wanted to impose some rules and to make players to play by the rules. It is just that there are certain rules that to be followed, but at the same time, it's not like we're just trying to be draconian. These are rules which are to be respected, and we also have to do a lot for players to feel good. Now, talking about Magnus' points, I think he also mentioned himself, and here I want to be very clear and correct his word, or just to say that I think it's a sort of mispresentation of facts about the freestyle and threatening players, like he puts it this way. We have nothing against the series. We disagree to series to be called World Championship without FIDE approving that. That's two huge differences. We are never against any private tournament series which are organized. We are cooperating in a great way with Grand Chess Tour for many years already, making sure that their calendar and our calendar doesn't clash and players have all the possibility to take part in these events. The same was for freestyle chess. I spoke to Jan Bitnev several times about that, and it was all fine. The only problem started when they claimed that they don't care what we think about it and they can call themselves World Championship.
So like a freestyle chess World Championship?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
that was my question because, look, I got to tell you, there was 4 very cryptic social media posts over the last week. Mm-hmm. I sort of tried to read between the lines, but I was wondering, is it simply just a matter of naming rights, or is it a matter of you sort of said, we prefer you don't do this, like the Chess.com World Championship, and they said, no, we're going to do it. Is that sort of where we're at? Or?
No. Not that we don't want them to do it. And Chess.com did this global championship, like they call it. Very fine with that. I mean, players have more opportunities to play. That's great. And we are always, and once again, we are always on player side. We're happy if they earn more. Anyways, the high water rises all the ships, and it's good if top players earn more, then tier 2 earns more, and so on. And it's a promotion for chess, and everything is great. But it's not about title per se, it's about the role of FIDE, and it's very clearly described also in our handbook and in our charter that we overview all sorts of chess, and specifically Fischer chess, like this, it was there because it is old, I think the decision about that was approved in 2008 or something, 2009 maybe, is also overviewed by FIDE. And it cannot be that a private organization runs World Championship independently of FIDE. That's very clear. And all the players, including Magnus Carlsen, by the way, have in their contracts for the top events they participated in that 4 years since the last participation in the tournament, they cannot play in any tournament which is called World Championship. And it was very clear, and we indicated to players that that would be a breach of the basically of the agreement, of their contract. Nevertheless, we were ready to talk to see what could be the ways to have approval for this championship, but only if FIDE approves it, and not that somebody decides to run a series of events under the World Championship tag.
One final question, which you've sort of touched on, but I'm just sort of going to ask it. Before Magnus left, as you say, he paused, described the stuff about freestyle chess, sort of said he's on his final straw. You know, if that's it, I'm out. And then he said some colorful words. I do wonder, is it kind of a mutual feeling of a last straw in the sense of, you know, what it really comes down to is the genes were told to be changed, and he said, I will change them tomorrow. And they said, no, we prefer if you change them on the break. The hotel is very close. We're enforcing the rules uniformly for all players. And if it really just comes down to, well, he could have just been allowed to be past the rules for one more round. He would have come back tomorrow in slacks, and maybe it would have been water under the bridge. Is there any component of it being a mutual last straw with both parties just sort of being unable to negotiate, come to terms, come to a relative form of peace? And is that why ultimately such a strong rule was enforced for a player of Magnus' stature? It is a big deal.
Very good question. No, a decision was actually a sole decision of chief arbiter, which has nothing to do with FIDE policy making or whatever. Alex Holovchak from England, who is known to be one of the best arbiters for many years now and a principled arbiter. And he took this decision. It was his strong position. We're not hiding behind his back. I back his decision, but it was totally his decision, and he is in a position to take such a decision. And it's not like let's see till tomorrow. Magnus had actually 2 rounds basically to change, and he just didn't do anything. So it was not under a spirit of a momentum. He just waved and left. No, he did have time. He did. He just decided to not. And whether it could be different, maybe, but I think. Once again, if we do impose certain conditions and certain rules, and we impose fines on players, if Jan Nepomniachtchi has to go to hotel and change, why Magnus shouldn't do so? I think it would be wrong, and I think Alex Holovchak had the right call.
Okay. Well, I thank you for joining me. I guess you will be the last guest. Folks have started exiting. It's sort of quiet at the venue. And to be clear, I suppose the final question, if Magnus wants to come back tomorrow as a spectator, I assume quitting a tournament, or rather being, let's say, not disqualified, but removed for a round, then not coming back and saying he won't play another one, meaning the Blitz, can he come as a spectator? Like, what is the relationship like?
Well, I think Magnus is always welcome. I want to stress it very clearly. You put it like there was a massive animosity going to this tournament already, but it's not true. I mean, Magnus came here with his entire family. As you could see here, he was very much welcome. Not only in the studio, I have to say. I cannot disclose details, but it was we met many of his requests, and we tried to be as welcoming as possible. And we really didn't plan to make something that would make him angry. We actually wanted him to play. It's good for chess. It's good for everyone. But at the end of the day, when it's actually Magnus mentioning a number of factors which led basically to his decision and not our decision. So our only decision was a decision of chief arbiter to actually follow the rules. And even that was given with a delay, so Magnus could adjust and go ahead. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. Magnus is welcome to be as a guest, or better even as a player, even not in Rapid and Blitz, if he reconsiders, more than welcome. It's not a question of a straw, and actually I can say that Arkady Dvorkovich had personally been so often resolving all the disputes with Magnus, trying to meet his every request, not on this occasion, but on previous occasions, on numerous occasions. And we always felt that Magnus is special, and we tried to go not extra mile, but extra 1,000 miles. But sometimes, I mean, if someone is charged with, a decision to, like, colorful words like he used, it probably exhibits itself in actions, unfortunately so.
Emil Sutovsky, CEO of FIDE. Thank you. Hopefully some peaceful, events tomorrow, but some exciting chess.
Yeah, some exciting chess. Let's not forget. I understand that most of spectators might be thinking only about it today and maybe tomorrow. But after all, we had so many great players in the tournament, and we don't want this story to overshadow completely the competition. Also, we have Arjun Erigaisi and Fabi Caruana fighting for FIDE circuit and qualification to candidates. The title will be decided tomorrow, so a lot of exciting things to look forward. And yeah, let's see how it goes.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.